I'm stepping away from competition. Not because I'm done fighting, but because I've won a different kind of battle. The one where you walk away on your own terms. This isn't goodbye. It's just the end of one fight and the beginning of another. They ain't gonna tell me, I ain't even apologize. Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self. Ain't paying your ass shit.
We come up, we risk our lives and stuff. If you don't risk your life for your job or for your money, you'll never know the severeness and the things that you have to go through mentally to prepare for a funeral. Because you don't know if you coming out of that motherfucker like you came in.
Terence Crawford has just sent shockwaves through the WBC, and this time it didn't happen inside the ropes. After months of public tension with boxing's most powerful sanctioning body, the undefeated champion has officially stepped away from the sport, choosing to retire on his own terms. But beneath that calm announcement lies a much deeper story, and insiders are now suggesting that Crawford didn't simply retire, he walked away on purpose. Standing at 42-0, a three-division undisputed champion, and coming off a reported $50 million payday after dismantling Canelo Alvarez, Crawford still decided he was finished. No farewell tour, no long build-up, just a short goodbye video followed by silence. Now the boxing world is left asking the same question. Why did he choose this moment to walk away?
Not belts, not money, not headlines, but that feeling, the one you get when the world doubts you, but you keep showing up.
After battling the WBC, filing lawsuits worth millions, and even having his license revoked, what finally pushed Terence "Bud" Crawford to say enough was enough? Let's break down the message, the reactions, and the truth Crawford just revealed to the world. When Terence Crawford released his retirement video, it didn't feel like a press conference at all. It felt like the closing of an era. He sat calmly, with no flashy belts in sight, just a man ready to shut the door on a chapter that defined his entire life. "Every fighter knows this moment will come," Crawford said. "We just never know when." He spoke about spending his whole life chasing something. That asterisk feeling, the one that comes when the world doubts you, yet you keep showing up, keep pushing forward, and keep proving everyone wrong.
You keep proving everyone wrong.
Unbelievable performance.
This sport gave me everything. I fought for my family. I fought for my city. I fought for the kid I used to be.
You could hear the emotion in his voice as he thanked his fans, his opponents, and even his critics, saying that without them he might never have found the fuel to keep proving people wrong. Then came the line that landed like a knockout punch. "I'm stepping away from competition, not because I'm done fighting, but because I've won a different kind of battle, the one where you leave on your own terms." It was poetic, powerful, and intentional. After years of lawsuits, stripped titles, sanctioning fee disputes, and tense power struggles with boxing's gatekeepers, Terence Crawford's final opponent wasn't another fighter standing across the ring, it was the system itself. And yet, despite the certainty in his words, not everyone believes this retirement is truly the end.
Terence Crawford retirement, I do agree with Eddie Hearn, who says that Terence is going to come back. We don't really know the motive, but it seems like he is still young enough, still successful enough, still thriving, and making the most amount of money of his career. I don't understand why he would.
MMA journalist Ariel Helwani was quick to weigh in, saying he would be very surprised if Crawford actually walks away for good. In his view, Crawford is still young, still sharp, and now finally earning real money through TKO and Turkey Alshik, which makes a full retirement hard to believe. Helwani even suggested that a massive payday, possibly against someone like Jake Paul, could be enough to tempt Crawford back into the spotlight.
Especially with his relationship with TKO and Turkey, he is finally cashing in. In that retirement announcement, he said that TKO was the first promoter that he's ever had to believe in him, and he's only had one fight with them. I would be very, very surprised if he walks away.
Helwani isn't alone in that thinking. Many across the fight world believe Terence Crawford's retirement looks less like a final goodbye and more like a calculated pause, a chance to reset his narrative after the turbulent fallout with the WBC. For the first time, Crawford is fully in control of his own path. No belts to defend, no sanctioning bodies to answer to, no fees, just the power of the Bud brand. That freedom is exactly why people are questioning whether this moment is genuine reflection or a smart business move in disguise. Still, not everyone is caught off guard by the decision, especially one person who has known Terence Crawford from the very beginning.
Terence and I have been friends since we were teenagers, late teens, but we've always had a pretty good friendship over the years. In the last 3 or 4 years, maybe even a little longer than that, it's grown a little stronger. This, I believe, was big news to everyone. When I saw it, it was just beautiful to see. But he and I had been speaking. I knew that, he was pretty much like, hey man, I'm at the end, couple more and I'm done. That kind of conversation.
Former world champion Shawn Porter, who shared the ring with Terence Crawford and has known him since their teenage years, says this decision has been in motion for a long time. Porter explained that he and Crawford have been friends since they were teens, and that Crawford told him years ago he only had a couple more fights left before walking away. According to Porter, this wasn't an emotional choice, it was calculated. He said Crawford had already made up his mind that once he defeated Canelo Alvarez, there would be nothing left to prove. It wasn't about age or wear and tear, but about fulfillment. When a fighter retires this way, Porter says, it's not driven by emotion. It's a plan, one Crawford has been prepared for, and in his view, the timing deserves respect.
That once he had fought Canelo, he felt like there was nothing left for him. And I just think it took some time for the boxing world to kind of, some of the movement that it makes, and it's made the movement, and I think now is finally time for him.
Porter even shared a surprising detail, revealing that he spoke to Terence Crawford just one day before the announcement, and Crawford said nothing at all. By the next morning, the entire boxing world woke up to the news. That silence spoke volumes about Crawford's mindset: calm, private, and always operating a step ahead. But while Shawn Porter saw peace in the decision, others viewed it through a more strategic lens. Promoter Eddie Hearn openly expressed his skepticism, saying, "You never know the background to these things. Maybe it's leverage, or maybe he's just tired."
Mount Rushmore, but I think the reason that I don't is because I don't think his resume is strong enough. Now, ability-wise, I think he may be on the Mount Rushmore, but I just feel like if you look at his wins, I always joke with him and say, "Tell me your best wins." This is pre-Canelo, right? And he says, "My best win is Ricky Burns."
Either way, what a moment to step away while still on top. From Eddie Hearn's perspective, this feels less like an emotional goodbye and more like a calculated negotiation. Remember, Terence Crawford had just gone to war with the WBC over sanctioning fees, refusing to pay after reportedly earning $50 million for the Canelo Alvarez fight. He was stripped of his belt, publicly criticized by Mauricio Sulaiman, and effectively frozen out of WBC-related events. "He's made the money, he's healthy, he's a legend," Hearn said, suggesting that maybe Crawford simply decided there was no reason to risk anything further. But Hearn also hinted at something bigger, that this could be a power play, a deliberate move by Crawford to free himself from the organizations that have controlled boxing for decades, because every step he has taken since the WBC fallout looks less like retirement and more like rebellion.
Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000? What makes you so motherfucking better than any of the other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA?
Behind the scenes, many believe this was Terence Crawford's way of stepping away before the system could take any more from him. He had already lost his WBC belt and faced public criticism from fellow fighters, including Ryan Garcia, reinforcing the idea that this exit was as much about control as it was about closure.
Crawford should have talked his talk before when he needed him. He wasn't talking like this. Now that he got the money, the cash, now I don't need WC to get me an opportunity. Now I'm gonna say, yo, fuck y'all, blah blah blah. To me, that's a little cowardice, on his part. But guess what? Only thing I don't agree with is why is it $330,000?
Accused of cowardice for refusing to pay a $300,000 sanctioning fee, Terence Crawford saw the situation very differently. For him, it was never about the money, it was about principle. In his view, the WBC could keep the green belt, because the Real title was earned in the ring, not bought with a check. "You've got the green belt," he implied, "but the true belt is the ring belt, and that one is free." He believed the demand came from a sense of superiority, from wanting more simply because they could ask for it. "Take the green belt," became his stance, his line in the sand. And now, his farewell may not be a goodbye at all, but the final act of defiance, because as Terence Crawford himself said, this is not goodbye.
Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit. The fucking real belt is the ring belt, which is free, motherfucker.
It's simply the end of one battle and the start of another. Crawford didn't retire because he's tired of boxing. He stepped away because he's tired of seeing fighters controlled by sanctioning bodies, politics, and money, and he wanted to walk away before anyone could dictate his next move. In many ways, that's the most Terence Crawford thing he could have done. Yet, despite the announcement, not everyone is convinced he's gone for good.
I got a feeling he'll be back.
You got what?
I got a feeling he'll be back. Just got a feeling.
Who would he come back against? Why would a Terence Crawford come back at this point?
I don't know.
When asked about Terence Crawford's announcement, Rolando Romero kept it short and to the point. I've got a feeling he'll be back. Romero isn't alone in that thinking. Fans online are already speculating that Crawford could be planning a blockbuster return in 2026, with some suggesting he's waiting for the perfect rival or the right payday to stage one final mega fight on his own terms. If that's the case, this retirement isn't an ending, it's a reset. And knowing Crawford's history, that comeback could hit harder than any punch he's ever thrown. Even outside the ring, he's already shaking up the sport once again. And of course, where there's news, Oscar de la Hoya is taking his usual victory lap on social media.
On the 12th day of Christmas, boxing gave to me. Clapback gives you facts. Eddie's still a pussy. Max is such a tampon.
I am gay, and I am happy.
Chavez got deported. Jake Paul equals ratings. Ollie Act under attack. Endless Haney lawsuit. Brian Ryan after Rollies. Crawford sold his soul.
It was a smart idea.
The Golden Boy couldn't resist stirring the pot, lumping Terence Crawford in with Canelo Alvarez, Jake Paul, and Ryan Garcia in his usual mix of smug, chaotic, and petty trolling. But beneath the jokes, the boxing world was shaken. One of the most dominant fighters of this generation had simply walked away. No warning, no farewell tour, just a quiet thank you and the curtain dropping. Even his critics, from Eddie Hearn to Tim Bradley, are now acknowledging the obvious. Crawford leaves behind not just an unblemished record, but a legacy no sanctioning body can touch. He built his career on discipline, defiance, and sheer determination, and he is leaving the sport the same way, on his own terms. In true Terence Crawford fashion, he did it quietly, without warning, without permission, and without regret. In the closing moments of his retirement video, Crawford said softly, "I gave this sport every breath I had and I made peace with what is next," a line that even made the toughest fans pause and reflect.
I gave this sport every breath I had. Every scar, every triumph.
Terence Bud Crawford is the pound-for-pound king.
Every ounce of my heart.
Because after decades of battling opponents, doubters, and the politics of boxing, Terence Crawford's final fight wasn't against another man. It was against the machine. The sanctioning bodies, the bureaucracy, the corruption, and the system itself. And he chose to win that fight by walking away undefeated, unbought, and unbroken. In a sport where too many legends linger too long, Crawford may have done the one thing they couldn't: retire while still on top, still in control, still the king. So, what do you think? Did Terence Crawford retire because he's truly done with boxing, or because he's exposing the flaws in the sport? Is this the end of an era, or just round one of his biggest fight yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And remember, in boxing, retirements are rarely permanent, especially when the fighter still has something to prove. Because if history has taught us anything, Terence Crawford never leaves a fight unfinished.
And I've made peace with what's next. And now, it's time. Thank you.
Alright, everyone. For the latest updates on boxing news, highlights, events, and action, subscribe to Knockout Updates and turn on notifications so you never miss high-quality content. And don't forget to check out our other videos. Until next time.